everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog here. I'm driving down the highway. I'm at a stop, right? Because I just got Starbucks. So let me just a little bit of lipstick for y'all. A little bit. Good. Okay, so drop your CD and stay in the chat. I'm late going to Dallas. I know it's ridiculous. Now I'm halfway there, but I'm still gonna be late to Terry's event. And I hope you are here and patient. But drop your city and state in the chat for me. And drop a little one. You know what I mean? Because I'm here. Now, I call this video the heist of the century. Now, many people might not get this off the rip, but the heist of the century is China. And I know I'm gonna start this video off. So if you're ready to get out of here, I'm ready for you. Donald Trump was right. I know. We hate that, right? Donald Trump is that loud, obnoxious uncle that was telling the truth, but you just don't like the way he said it. Just the way y'all don't like when Kevin Samuel says things sometimes, it's the same thing, Donald Trump. You don't like it because they're telling the truth. You just don't like the delivery, okay? All right? So, here's the thing. China. And these talking points he had were from the 80s, right? Where, we're not getting a fair deal. And if you know anything, if you're a salesman or you know anything about Asian markets, they make you get things in writing. You can't even leave with a spoken contract because there's in every single Asian country, whether it's Japanese, Chinese, the Indonesians, all these other islands, Philippines, there's a saying called trick them if you can trick them. Now, we always say, oh, no, my VA from wherever, the Philippines, Bali, wherever is wonderful. Yes, this is true. But there is an old saying, trick them if you can trick them. And this definitely applied to Americans in the 80s and 90s going over there trying to do trade. Now, we had NAFTA and IFTA and all those other things and FAFTA and all this other stuff. Listen, you know what I'm trying to say. But here's the real conundrum of it. He who sells sells everything, also someone could buy his future. Now I'm messing the quote up and I apologize, but essentially everything in America is for sale. This is why when I run into Americans, white, black, whoever, and the first thing out their mouth is like, well, I don't want to buy a house because you're always paying property taxes, or I don't want to do this because you have to pay so much money. We're in a country that's for sale. So when you tell me you don't want to buy a house, you don't want to own a business, you don't want to own this or that, what you're telling me is, the country's for sale, but you don't want to buy anything. Let me say that again. You live in a country that's for sale, but you don't want to buy anything. So what you've told me is you do not care about your children's future in a country where only people who are going to matter in the future and going forth are people who own things. We said it again. In a country where the only people that matter are people who own things, people that say they don't want to own anything, and they're not getting married and they're not having no kids, you are off the board. We don't care what you're talking about then. And you're off the board. You're off the playground. Okay? Because China knows they plan for 100 years. Right? They're willing to take the long hit. Only in the United States do we go, well, how can we make it cheaper, faster, cheaper? Now, pay attention. There's a lot of people who are in supplements and manufacturing off YouTube. If you watch their channels, they've started to bring all their stuff in-house. They've started to bring everything in-house. All these young men in Texas are starting to go and buy little warehouses, are starting to buy forklifts, are starting to make sure that everything they control in their little ecosphere that they can manufacture, or they have someone close in Texas or Oklahoma that can manufacture it. Okay, let me say that again. Now, a lot of you say, well, Erica, she does these videos in the car and she's talking fast. This algorithm records everything you say. Okay, everything you say. So I'm not surprised if this channel one day gets deleted. None of that surprises me. You know why? Because I plan for offline. I don't just plan for here. Okay. Now, what do I mean about semiconductors in the future? And I'll put a link in the chat community tab. I want you guys to check out after this is over. We have a problem. We can't get new chips for cars. We can't even get chips for PS5s, right? I didn't even know that was a problem until we start seeing all these men online crying about PS5s. No harm, no foul. That's just the truth. We can't get a lot of things. A lot of these, okay, and I'm gonna just go there. A lot of these semi-truck drivers, they need to tell you the truth. The fact is, for one of the trucks that I'm trying to even sell, I was like, okay, I've got to buy this part so we can fix this truck and I can sell it and give the money back to my investors. The part's taken 7 weeks to come in. Let me say that right. The part for the truck has taken 7 weeks to even get in, for them to even get it and even put it in the truck. Okay. And so when people sit here and try to argue with me about business, I'm actually in business. I actually manage business. I don't hop on here every day telling you every single thing that happens in my business, because it ain't gonna help you. You know, and it ain't gonna help you, right? So you're telling me this: we have a country that has continuously stole for the past year people's intellectual property. Okay, Samsung phones, Apple phones, anything that can be made and made a copy or replica of has been stolen and made a replica of in China. China's beefing with India because India does the same thing that China does to everybody else, steal and replica stuff. So, get your ass up. Doesn't make no sense. Okay, so when you're talking to people, when they sit here, and I already know where you are mentally. If you're on this man's internet arguing about basic ABCs and you're not talking about buying land, like I want y'all to go check out this thing from Killer Mike. Please go check out this thing from Killer Mike. And I'll put it in the community tab. So Killer Mike's like, y'all always talking about revolution, but y'all don't own no land. You don't know nobody that farm. You don't even own the land you live on. You're renting a house, right? You don't have no plan to do any of that stuff. You don't know how to hunt. You don't know how to fish. Half of the black people I meet are scared of guns and don't know how to shoot a gun. So all this fake pro-black, pro-wake, I'm so woke is fake. It's fake. Get out of here. You're like, that's why a lot of the content that's on YouTube, I laugh, because it is the sign of somebody who's not even awake. They don't even know what's going on right now. They out here arguing about child support, and I'm like, baby, you ain't even gonna have access to stuff. Now, what do I mean by that? When people start getting mad about these jobs, saying, hey, you gotta take this job, you can't come back to work, and I'm being careful in this talk right here. People weren't even in a position to say, well, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to do that. And I'm going to go take my skills somewhere. I'm going to go take my ball somewhere else and play it. Now, you can feel however you feel about the shot. That's not for me to tell you what to do with your body. And I don't know where we have Americans thinking that they can tell you what to do with your body. These people are psychos, okay? But you don't even have the choice, because you don't even have no skills. And then on top of skills, you can't even grow none of your own food. You can't do a lot of these things. You don't even know where the local farmer market is. I remember somebody complaining about the cost of eggs at the store. And I said, well, why don't you just go to the farmer's market? Where that at? The farmer's market? They everywhere. Every city, every state got a farmer's market. Every farmer you ever meet will want to sell you some cheap eggs everywhere. So when people talk like that, I already know they're not awake. They're not even ready to buy cheap eggs. Like, come on, man, cheap eggs? You can't even buy cheap eggs? Dollar eggs from a local farmer? Okay, so that already tells you people is mad sleep. Okay, so now, thank you, Diamond Day, because I was getting ready. I got my little notes over here off in the corner. I'm not looking, I'm driving. People were saying, oh my God, Ericka, you need to do a show about China and the stock market gonna collapse. How many times have I bought Terry? I bought Todd Milley. I bought Diamond Dave onto this platform telling you real traders make money whether the stock market is up or down. They gonna make real money whether it goes up or down. And for some reason, I realize y'all not listening. Y'all see some screenshots, you see how money moves around a little bit, and you like, well, I want to do trading. Well, we've been talking about stock market for 4 years now on this channel, plus, and folks ain't hopped on it. They ain't hop on it when Todd Milley selling the course for 100. They ain't hopping on it when Terry selling for 2,000. Not selling 5,000, 10,000. They ain't hopping on it when Diamond Day selling for 500. You're not serious about having some other skills. You're not serious about having some other outlet. I know people make fun of being a jack of all trades and a master of none, but you really chopping off the quote. The full quote says, sorry, hold on. I think we have a nail in one of our tires. We gotta get off this thing. Better to be a jack of all trades than a master of none, and better than a master of one. See, we always cut the quote short and miss the part where it talks about it's better than having none, all right? And better than having one, okay? So part of the problem in our community, honestly, is we're not even awake enough to understand what's happening. So everybody hears when I talk about the supply chain breakdown. Okay, you're like, okay, what's that mean? We got all these supplies sitting out there in the ocean. What's that mean? And I did a video a while ago and I told y'all about the credit crunch. Okay, the credit crunch. Now, why does the credit crunch matter? You thinking it means you ain't gonna have no credit card, you ain't gonna have no credit card points. That's what you think I'm talking about. No. Credit crunch is all those ships sitting out to sea and the cost that it costs for them to debt. Now, you used to be able to bring those big old ships in, and they got net 30s and net 60s and net 90s to pay stuff and storage fees. Nah, them storage places asking for that money up front. Run me the money up front. And a lot of those companies don't have it to front anymore. They don't have it. 2020 wore them out. Inflation took them out. Many companies are over leveraged. Over 19% of companies in America are zombie companies. Now let's keep it a buck. A zombie company can run for another 20 years. Okay, let me make that clear. I know some of this is gonna go over some of y'all heads. I'm okay with that. Just hear me out. Zombie companies can run for another 20 years being a zombie company because they'll always make enough money, right? And we've seen zombie companies everywhere. They make enough money to stay open and enough money for the owner to put some money in his pocket and pay just enough debts, but never expand and never grow far, right? And why is that? We've seen the mom and pop shops where if daddy dies, the shop goes down. We've seen the shops where if mama ain't doing hair, then the shop don't run. We've seen the places that, if this goes out, then it's over. We've seen that. We've seen zombie businesses all over the place. So when people sit here and argue with you like, well, business owners only make like 80K a year, maybe that's still double what the national average is. So miss me with that story. You know what I'm saying? But when I sit here and talk to you about the writing on the wall for a lot of things, the writing on the wall is not on the wall for business owners. It's for people who have a job and a not high paying job. So let me always be clear. When Antoine did a video today, and I really wish I'd have went on there and talked more economics, but at the end of the day, we'll do another one about men being broke and college and stuff. Colleges are upset that they don't have a balance on the in the classrooms and the places and stuff like that. But it's not just about that. It's the fact that anytime you see lower and the student loans ain't going. We're not doing that. And so it's a trigger effect. Now I went to East Carolina University in the 2000s, baby. And what happened in the 2000s is East Carolina had all these women. I mean, I went to class and it was 85% women. And I remember one of my professors saying, this really isn't sustainable. Well, then that year we were in, is it buffering now? Can y'all hear me now? Put a 1 in the comments if y'all can hear me now. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me now. Put a 1 in the comments if I'm back. Let me know if I'm back, baby. Put a 1 in the comments, baby. Anyways, okay. So, East Carolina that year, there was an article. And it called us the top party schools, right? Top 20. It was the one guy. The next year, the college was like the reverse. It was literally 7 guys to 1 woman. And I mean, it was great. I was happy with that, right? I was like, this is good. I will go to this class. because it changed the dynamics of the college and it made the college fun again. It made it interesting. It made it like, oh, you go to class, there's men everywhere. Let me get dressed up. Let me do what I got to do, right? And that's the power of advertising, right? That's the power of advertising. The power of advertising is them marketing it. So if they are marketing that, hey, there's no men in college, hold on here. I got a little hot spot I can turn on in the car. We're gonna try to turn it on. But so part of that marketing ploy is to market to parents. It's not just to market to us. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna do a quick pull over right here because I gotta check one of my tires. I think one of my tires is cutting up, so I might have to get off this live anyway. Part of that is marketing. That is marketing to parents. That's marketing to girls. That's marketing to the local economy. What's going to happen is, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Hold on one second. Y'all complaining so damn much. Y'all whine too much. Hold on. I'm going to pull over, put my little hotspot in the car so I have the hotspot. Hold on real quick. Right here. And we're going to put the hotspot on so y'all can stop crying. Hold on one second. Hold on, we're gonna put this hold on real quick. We're gonna put this hotspot on. We got the flashers on, y'all. Oh, let me turn this on side street. We got the flashers. We got the flashers on. Let me put this Wi-Fi hotspot in the car on. Oh, let me see real quick. So anyway, what I was gonna say is, yeah, I'm off on a side country road. They're doing this marketing to these young men, that young men are in school. And guess what's gonna happen? You're gonna see in the news very quickly that all these places they got all these scholarships for men. They got all these scholarships for men. They got all these scholarships for men. Get your ass around. Quit being stupid. Anyway, they got all these scholarships for men and all these programs for men and all these stuff for men coming up. And that's what you're going to see out here. It's going to be heavily advertised that they have all these new scholarships for men and all these new programs for men, right? And they're gonna be marketing left and right for these young men to come back to college. Because if you come back, we've got all these scholarships. I promise you, this is what's going to happen. Why? Because there's a lot of indoctrination that goes on at college. There's a lot of long-term debt that goes on at college. There's a lot of companies that are invested in students and making money off these students, right? Turn this on. 1 second, real quick. Let's check it out. Y'all thought I ran over something. I didn't run over nothing. Anyway, so they're making money off these students. So they're not going to let these students just bounce out these colleges like that. I know y'all think they are, but they're not. Especially some of these small towns, which without the college, there would really be no small town. Okay? So that's one thing. Now, the second thing, out of my little notes here. Oh, Boeing jets. That's what it was. Going public in Boeing jets. Now, Diamond Dave will do a better talk on this than I will. But a lot of companies had been going public from China. And they were taking all this money when they went public in their IPO. And then China goes, oh, you know what? Never mind. No. We don't want that company to be public. Because if that company's public, then we have to do what? Adhere to shareholders. And guess what China's not doing? Adhering to anybody. China right now can take a hit where you don't like them, or if you want to put future sanctions on them. We really can't in America because they own our debt. We can't really put any sanctions on them. We can go, no, China, no. But at the end of the day, China can do what it wants. Why? right? Because they're going into Africa, they're building roads, they're flying planes into Africa, they're they're building up factories, towns. Their men are pretty much walking away from the work and getting black women pregnant over there because their country's so short of women that China's having to say, well, it's okay. It's totally all right. You just can't come back to China with that black woman. You can keep your son or daughter over there all you want. You ain't coming back over here with them though. So China is deciding it doesn't matter. They can take our money. They can pull themselves back off the stock market per se. They can steal intellectual property. There's really nothing we can do. And people say, well, America's big and bad. No. America's got a big and bad army, but we really can't run up in nobody's country without somebody writing us that check. Now, what do I mean somebody writing us that check? I mean, China buys our bonds. They buy infrastructure. They buy thousands of dollars into this country. Prime example, people have been complaining about when I was telling you about the part, I'm waiting on the part for 7 weeks to fix this truck and sell it because it's a used truck and the used truck market is at its peak right now. Everywhere I see, they're like, well, won't you come get a new truck, baby? Won't you sell us this old truck and get a new truck? I said, no, I want no truck. We're trying to get rid of trucks. And the company's like, nah, just go ahead and give us that truck. You know, we can give you a good deal. Now, anybody who knows trucking knows they don't give you nothing. They give you negative dollars for your truck when they got an old truck. They used to give you nothing, pennies on the dollar. And now all of a sudden they want your stuff because they can't get new stuff, because they can't get new parts, because they can't get new chips. So really they're going to take your old truck and scavenge it because they need the parts. You cannot have an America where we don't make anything. Even if we were to say, let's get the stuff from Germany, Germany wants its own parts too, right? Germany makes a lot of things, but Germany ain't just gonna give it up because we're allies. They ain't gonna say, sure, buddy, you need some parts. Here's some parts from our nice factories. No, not for cheap. Because Germany's holding up most of Europe right now. France is Jamaica on a bigger scale. Now, I don't want no disrespect to Jamaicans. Please don't come in my DMs with the Jamaican anchor. But Jamaica's an island. It really needs tourism to make it. It needs people coming to it to make it. France is a giant Jamaica. They need people to visit that country to make it worth it. Because other than that, they just take resources from all the former colonies. So right now, we're in a position where we can't even borrow from a strong foreign country like Germany because Germany's holding up France. Germany's holding up parts of England. Germany's holding those countries up. You see, Sweden has decided it don't care. It's a gangster. And Sweden is the first European country to say, listen, we're done with this pandemic. Come on over to our country. Come on over. Fly in, tourism. We need your money. Come on over. Italy was like, we're going to check these cards. And then when Italy really got down to it, Italy 70% tourism. And they like, please, we need your money. Come on back to Italy. You ain't got to show me nothing. Just come on back to Italy, okay? Same thing with Brazil. All these countries, they need you to come back and spend those tourism dollars. Well, who are they talking to? Are they talking to Americans? Right? Because everybody thinks they hate us after Donald Trump, which is that's BS. They're talking to China. China has huge groups that go around tourism night and day. Huge groups. When I was at Yellowstone, there were 5 different buses that had different Asian country writers. I know one for a fact, one was Korean and one was Japanese. I can see from the writing. I don't know. The other one probably is Chinese, just to be safe or sorry. And there were buses full of people coming off, taking pictures, excited. Now, do you think those people had to show any kind of cards to get in here? No, they didn't. But when you start marketing that countries are going to take a stand and you're not going to come visit their country without these cards, it's bad marketing. It's bad publicity. So now countries got to fall out of line and go, hey, please come to our country. We need you. We need the money. Come to our country. So when I talk about business on this channel, I get it. A lot of you, your only goal in life, as Diamond Dave said, is to trick off, is to be a big trick, to have some money and go to Colombia and some woman looks at you and you're the winner. Same thing with women. Some of y'all biggest hope is to go to Miami and goof off every couple of weekends. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you because you're already asleep. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that need to wake up and pay attention. What are you invested into? Do you have any land? Listen, America's for sale. 60% of the buyers in Texas are foreign buyers. 80% of the buyers in Vancouver, Canada, are Chinese buyers. All these people trying to make them dump their money tomorrow, like, hey, get out of there right now. We're going to be hurt. Now, I already told y'all the other day, there's several countries that are going to drop, like several counties in the United States, and their price of homes are going to drop. Austin, Texas ain't one of them, baby. It just ain't. It's too small. Parts of Houston, yes, soften. Parts of Dallas definitely will soften. But Austin, it just ain't happening. Parts of Florida, South Florida is where people want to be. You got people leaving South Florida to go to North Florida. Ain't never wanted to live in North Florida, but this is the only place they can afford to be because they can't afford Miami no more. They can't afford even Fort Lauderdale. They got to go higher than that, right? So I want you to understand, when I talk about the heist of the century, this country got us by everything. Your medicine. I want you to listen. The United States Post Office, a lot of y'all say, man, they gonna crash, Ericka, they gonna crash. The United States Post Office and the VA have been routinely moving and shipping y'all medicine through the mail. All right, so already locked in the healthcare there. They already told you this year that the packages will be delayed. Go look this up. I'm not making any of this. You can go look up all these articles. The packages will be delayed, shipping will be delayed, and don't bother them. Yeah, you pay for 3 days delivery of your letter, but it get there when it get there. Okay. A lot of these things that y'all think are not great investments, pay attention. Shipping, logistics, manufacturing. A lot of what you see these little box trucks and all this other stuff, they're going to be full of stuff. They're going to be full of little short distance travel and dropping stuff off. So again, I know you're going to think I'm rambling in this video, and that's okay. You know, that's all good. It is what it is. But when I tell you Donald Trump was right, and I know, unfortunately for our people, we just can't hear that. Nobody wants to hear Donald Trump was right. You know, he's this terrible bull in the china shop, and nobody wants to hear it. And, oh, I don't want to hear that about Donald. He's right. You cannot have someone buying up all your country. They control your medicine. They control a lot of delivery of your products and services. And you don't manufacture nothing. You don't make nothing. Now go look this up. Go look up the video too, because the video is quite disturbing. Over in China, when we go and put factories in there, Nike, all these companies, they go build the factory and then they build the housing right beside the factory. Okay? There are several American companies who went belly up over there like, hey, we just can't afford it. We can't stay in China. We got to go. And the Chinese workers are still sleeping in the abandoned housing part of the building. No job shut down. They sleeping in this housing. Okay? If we had to jump ship, now let me just make that very clear. If an American company was like, man, I can't even afford to manufacture in China, I'm leaving. What does that say? That's a credit crunch. That's a credit crunch. You got all these ships sitting out there. I honestly believe, I'm going to be careful, but, you know, I'm pretty sure this video might get kicked out. China's going, don't dock a damn thing. Don't dock a ship. We're not going to pay. You know, we're not going to let you, if America goes, we can't let you COD, you know, checks on delivery. We need cash on delivery. I think China's telling us, well, we won't dock the ship. That's all. We won't dock the ship then. If you're tripping like that, if your companies are starting to abandon Chinese people in multiple factories out here, no problem. We will not dock these ships. Because now it's starting to back up in Alaska. And I don't think you guys understood, when I was in Alaska is the like #2 hub in America for, you know, everything, just about delivery parts, everything. What's crazy about Alaska being that way is Alaska, to get anything there is so expensive, even though they got this hub just going night and day. So there's something funky in the play here, but I want you to understand, I'm just telling you from my experience and me going to a lot of these meetings, there's a reason BlackRock and all these people are heavily investing in real estate, It's a safe, hard asset. On top of the fact that you see a lot of companies in Dallas starting to buy old factories, old warehouses, and asking the city to give them incentives to turn it around, to make it into something, right? Loft housing and build businesses in the bottom and all this other stuff. I think you're going to start seeing more of that. And a lot of people say, well, what's your prediction for the future? I'm not trying to predict the future. I just want to make you aware so that you can make the best decision possible. A lot of people argue with me about buying a home. Well, I'll just wait till all of it crashes. I've heard people say that for 11 years, that they're going to wait for the housing market to crash. Where? Oh, it's going to come, Ericka. It's coming. It's coming. If you live in just about any major city in the United States, that income is going, that price is going to come down, but that rent ain't never going to be $400 again. That rent in the inner city is never going to be $500. Never. It's not going to be that again. So pay attention to that for sure, and determine, okay, well, Ericka, I just can't afford this city. Insert whatever city it is. I'll move 30 minutes out. I'll move 40 minutes out, and I'll buy a property. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, oh, well, I don't want to live way out there. And I want to, again, pay attention to what your neighbors are doing. They're not reactive, they're proactive. When USDA loans and all this stuff comes available, they moved further out and took that zero money down. Now, they in that house, I want you to think really quickly, a lot of the people I've been seeing out here on YouTube, the reason they're able to get financially free so fast, they already had the house. They were house hacking. If they weren't house hacking, now they're free from paying $2,000 and $3,000 in rent costs in the inner city. They only paying $1,500 or $1,200 for their mortgage. They had extra money, not extra money to buy cars. Invest up in here, invest in themselves, buy property, buy stuff, right? And so a lot of what I want y'all to understand is, like, the future is business owners, and the future of America is whoever owns it. Because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to buy this or that. And I used to show you guys buybizsell.com all the time, showing you where business owners were in their late 50s and 60s wanting to sell their business. Why were they doing that? Because they built this business up, but they got to an age where they realized their children aren't interested in the business. They don't have any family they built up responsible for business. They don't have anybody even inside the business that they can leave it with. So they rather sell it for some money. So of course, who comes by? Somebody. I mean, I've met 2 or 3 businesses where the new owner is Nigerian in Austin. And I'm like, what? New owner, been in some old white man's family for 100 years. And now the new owners are Nigerian. But where did he find out about that business being for sale? Probably by buybizsell.com, right? Or a business broker. Look up Nick Taylor's old video that I shared in the community tab, and I'll share it again. He went and dropped a truck off at a hotel. Well, who was in the hotel? Who was in the hotel? A bunch of, I'm Middle Eastern, just for sake of not being disrespectful, Middle Eastern folks working telephones, brokering trucks, and getting trucks up and down the road. These people have come here not to play. They didn't come here to trick off. They didn't come here to buy Dodge Chargers. They've come here to work, buy a house, in the house, rent the extra rooms of the house out, then take that FX money, go buy other rental properties. Prime example, when I talk about buying new people, you got to put 20% down to get a house and all this stuff. No. There are several realtors here, and I'm going to just go there, who have, because of the economy, someone off and don't close on their house, they go over there, put less than 5% down and get another property. The bank knows what? Those people who walked away from that loan for whatever reason they couldn't close on the loan, right? They know that realtor, he already owns his own home. He got another home. Well, he wants to buy a third home. Well, we know he's good for it. We know he's good for it. And he's a realtor. If all else fails, he'll do what? He'll sell it. You got to pay attention to how the game is. And if you're not even talking about owning anything, you know, you're not even on the chessboard. You're not even on the chessboard. You really aren't. Now, earlier, I know right now, I'm crazy, right? Your reception is horrid right now. Oh, it is it bad? You know, I can cut this off at the end of the day. Like, it's just, I can record this video and not be on the internet, whatever. Part of what I want you guys to understand is everybody ain't gonna buy a house, and that we understand, right? Completely understand that. Everybody's not gonna get married. But what can you do to make money when you're not working? And prime example, I think Kevin Samuel shared it on Instagram today. It was the bad again. Oh, you guys are making it not fun. I know you guys make it not fun. Hold on. All right, can you guys hear me again? For the love of Pete, it's on the hotspot now. Can you hear me? Anyways, guys, make it not fun. Anyways, the point of what I'm trying to say is, I know it was fine. They're crying and crying and crying all day with the crying. Free information, just crying. Anyway, part of what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is this country is for sale. And people say, well, Eric, I don't want to buy anything. And back to what I was saying, Kevin Samuels had posted that 42% of women were experiencing burnout during the pandemic and during this time. And again, you just saw the articles that, you know, broke men are going to have just as bad a winter as broke women, right? But what people don't understand is they'll always have a rough winter because they don't own anything that pays them reoccurring income, right? So even if we were saying that these people had, let's say these people put $1,000 a month, which I know that's high, and people are going to complain that's too high. If you put $1,000 away in a 10% returning REIT or stock market stock that was giving you 10% back over the course of a year, you're like, well, Eric, that's just $1,000, that's just $100, or that's just $10. That's not a lot of dollars every month back. Well, that's the point. You have to continually keep investing in that thing until. So a lot of people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month investing in the stock market. They don't want to hear that because they're not making a lot of income. So what is a way you can conserve or, you know, use the income you already have? Well, it's your job. That's why when people fight me and say, well, you guys always talking about start a business. What if everybody meant to start a business? That's fine. But don't complain when you have a job that's not paying you $100K a year. Because it won't make any sense financially if you make less than 85K a year. It just won't make sense unless you live really far out. It just won't. So again, I want you guys to understand, you have to spend the next, I would say 90 days if I were you, figuring out what's something, a piece of something I'm going to own in this country. And if you're in any of my classes where I was 20%, or you're in any of my classes where I've been talking, look at how much and people make fun of template businesses. I get it. But supplement companies, being an influencer, there are literally people who will sell you the templates they use. And you're just filling in the blanks. You just have to be consistent and fill in the blanks, right? And people won't even do that. Right? People literally have given them their whole business model. All you have to do is be consistent and keep posting, and people won't even do that. Right? So when people talk about template businesses being bad, it's not that template businesses are bad, it's because people are lazy. And when people argue, oh, you hiring VAs from overseas, I'm like, I can hire Americans for just as cheap, as long as you allow them to stay home. If you tell somebody, hey, you can make $18 an hour if you come in the office, but if you want to stay remote, it's $15. People will still line up for that job. I promise you. I've seen it way too many times on Indeed.com, right? Someone said, should I sell my land or keep it? Now, I'm going to go there because I saw someone on Facebook today wanting, now, I'm going to just give you reference. I know she watches this channel, no disrespect. She saw a house down the street, brand new construction sale for $500,000. So she's like, oh, they tried to buy my lot of land that's bigger than that lot for $70K. That's crazy. They got to give me more than that. Now, she didn't say how much she wanted, but I can tell you from experience, when you call around and try to buy land in Houston, when you try to buy land in parts of Dallas, people want $100,000 and $150,000 for a piece of lot of land. Now, I'm not trying to make fun of nobody, but for $150K, I'll just go further out and find something else. Because once you do the math that if I build the house with the builder for $150,000, I gave you $150,000 for the lot, that's $300,000. Even if I sell the house for $500K, okay, that leaves me with $200,000. But what if I'm doing a 50-50 split with the builder? What if accidents happen? What if permits delay? What if something happens? It doesn't leave much wiggle room for that person doing that deal. That's why they won't pay you $100,000 to $150,000 for your lot of land, no matter how popular the city is, because it don't make sense. Unless they're a big builder and they build all the time and they can just eat that cost. So the whole point of them trying to buy land from you is to buy it cheap. So when people tell me, well, I got this land and I'm not going to sell it because I know it's worth something. Baby, the only way you're going to get real money in the future out of if you own grandma's house or grandma's land is if you build on the empty lot and get the most, $300,000 or so profit out of it after you pay the builder, after it's cashed out from the buyer buying it. Or you clean up grandma's house and rent it out. Clean it up, remodel it, and rent it out. A lot of people fight me on these are basic solutions to everything that people get in my chat and complain about. These are the solutions. You either make more money, you build a side template business, right? You build a side template business, right? And that could be the Uber, the freight, the Airbnb, all that other stuff, right? Or if you already got something, you build on it. These are the pathways to wealth. These are the pathways to wealth in this country. It has to be something paying you that you're not physically working every day and night for the spread of your brow. That's the only way. And people want to fight you on that, but that's the truth. Whenever you come on this channel, I don't lie to you. I don't lie to you about zombie businesses. I don't lie to you about how money works and how everybody was going business credit crazy for 2 years. And what they realize is if your personal credit's a dumpster fire, I don't care. Unless your business makes $3 million, it won't matter. Right? So again, these are the ways that you make money and you build wealth in America. These are the pathways. That's why when people get here and they're immigrants, the first thing they do is run downtown and figure out how they can start a business with a piece of paper. Because a business is nothing but a piece of paper. Nothing but a piece of paper. So again, prepare yourself. The holidays are going to be expensive because of many factors. The shipping, the broken supply chain, China saying they can't seem to get us everything shipped in time. The fact that we removed the incentive to do steel. Here in America, we get our steel from China because it's so cheap. And what you have to understand is some of these people are wrong. Yet you'll never outwork inflation, people. You'll never outwork it. And what you have to realize is you see a lot of people 50, 60, 70 years old. They're just now figuring it out. Oh, man, my back hurts. My knees hurt. This hurts. I either need to get into a job where I can make more money, or basically they're going to work till they die. And I've seen that too. But China got us, y'all. I mean, they're laughing all the way to the bank. I remember my cousin who's former military. She said, oh, our generals had to call China and tell them, we're not going to fight you guys. Donald Trump's just talking crazy. Ignore what he says. We're not going to war with you guys. Well, China didn't need to hear that anyway. They didn't need to hear that anyway. Because China knew that we don't have no dog in the fight. We can't fight them. With what? They'll call all our bonds. They'll call every single piece of debt and loan they have with us. And we'll be broke. That just is what it is. CNN is a zombie. That's right. All their ratings are down. After Donald Trump left, there was nothing to talk about for them. Their ratings are done. And then their owner of CNN, I don't even know if Ted, whatever his name, still owns it, but he invests all over the whole United States in land and real estate. So, he's not worried. So again, the part of me making this video is I want you to clearly and concisely understand. China got us, yo. They laughing all the way to the bank, right? Their country may be what we call zombie or bankrupt, but don't worry. They'll just start sending more of their people to work in Africa, sending more of their people to work around the world because they can't afford their people, right? They'll just send them other places in other countries. There you go. It would be a declaration of war, right? So China's going to figure out a way to feed its people, right? They literally, all they're doing is going in Africa and building roads and buying up land. And let's not act like Europe's not doing it too. Right now, not Spain, Germany and one of the other countries have been buying farmland in Africa. And the only reason people even know about it is because the farmers were trying to walk their cattle across property and they've been met with soldiers with guns. Like, whoa, we've always walked our cattle here. Oh, no, you can't no more. This is owned by parts of Europe. Pay attention. He who has the farmland wins, baby, long term. When that guy said farmers will be millionaires, he meant it. Well, again, go to your store and look at the price of chicken. And they culled 5% of the chicken during the pandemic. And they culled 5% of the beef during the pandemic. So go to your store and look at the price of chicken. Look at the price of beef. Look, they already done put them turkeys out. I don't know where they got them turkeys from. They've probably been frozen forever. They done started putting turkeys out. Right? Pay attention. So the holidays are going to be expensive. Real expensive. Y'all out here trying to figure out how to go on holiday. And you don't have nothing built up to give you an option or a choice to do something else. You know what I'm saying? I'm just going to say it that way. A lot of people complain about these jobs, and a lot of them, they ain't even going to have no job in 5 years to complain about. They're going to be home on UBI. Barely. UBI is going to be just enough to cover their bills. It's like the disability hustle, where everybody who couldn't get a job after 2 years during Obama all of a sudden got on the disability hustle. That's all. That's what's going to happen. Again, we talk about chicken breast at the store being $5, right? The Venezuelan driver who was driving, the Uber driver, was telling us chicken's never been more than 80 cents to $1. And I said, well, what is it now? It's $5. So again, people aren't paying attention, but the signs are there. Signs are there. If you're not a business person, you better get to stacking up, go buy a cow from your local farmer. Stack up, buy some chickens. Put them in the cold chickens now. Put them in the deep freezer. I went to the farmer's market here in Austin over by the Mueller Park. Honey, the lady was sold out of meat. She's never been sold out of meat. Never. I've always been able to go to the farmer and say, oh, you got any chicken? Oh, no, we out. Everything that's slaughtered in this bucket is already been paid for by somebody. Everything that's frozen in this bucket is already paid for by somebody. I promise you. I tell these old trucks, these old automobiles that people laugh at and sit in people's yards. It's junk, but it's gold. The parts out of it, they will need them. You cannot have no manufacturing in your company, in your country, which semiconductors is the most important thing your country needs to make. And you can't leave that to another country to do, because then that country can tell you it can kiss their butt. That's literally where we're at right now. China can tell us to kiss their butt, and we'd be like, oh, come on, China, that's ridiculous. But that's what China did a little bit when Donald Trump was in, when he started talking about the steel tariffs. There was like this massive delay of shipments. This has happened before. It's happened before. Nobody can own all the gold. Yeah, nobody can own all the gold. There already is a class apartheid. Aren't there parts of West Virginia, parts of the Rust Belt that we don't go to? that nobody visits? Aren't there parts that are already isolated, Rust Belt towns that are basically half dead towns, receiving a lot of Social Security benefits? We already have that. We already have that. Yep, pharmaceuticals, all this stuff. I mean, that's why, people are like, Ericka, you're being doom and gloom. I mean, I can sit on here and lie to y'all every day and go, yeah, just start a business and start making all the money tomorrow. And you don't have to work hard. You don't have to run ads. None of that. I'm not going to lie to you. That's not necessary. I literally sat at VidCon and half the people there had little Amazon businesses, little template businesses, little supplements, and little online businesses, and their wife sold candles, and they just run ads on it. And they just sell the stuff and they keep it moving. It ain't even a big thing to them. Because once you solve a lot of that money problem, then you're looking at, okay, where can I make my money go work for me? What small things can I invest in to make it work for me? Those are the people that are going to be just fine because they're circulating their money. There will still be people buying stuff off Etsy all winter. There will still be people buying stuff from every little store you can think of all winter. Are you going to be in a position to sell some stuff though? Yeah. I mean, so again, when people talk about OnlyFans stuff, that's low vibrational conversation. People sell sex all every day and night. You just don't see it. Right? That's a low conversation. But now what I've seen more of is men being on some of these sites. It's crazy. That part is strange to me. But again, if you're a man and you don't want to work hard, but you look good, somebody will buy pictures of you. I'm a tread light on that. But again, a lot of these template businesses that people laugh about, too easy. Podcast shows. Look at how many men, and I'll be careful here, but there are a lot of white men right now on YouTube just making a run at a podcast show, and it's getting all kind of views and everything. And I could name some shows, and I feel like they're just everyday white Dan, and people are like, that's great. I love it. Template businesses. Template. Don't overlook it. Don't overlook them. So anyways, you guys, this is your girl Ericka from the Classy Clown blog. There's 620 people here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting the channel. Hit the like button if you want to cash app your girl. At the end of the day, I hope to bring y'all some other informative videos that Peter should have put together over the night. But I do give you my trucking outlook, what I see happening out here, especially in Texas in the marketplace. Who I've noticed buying land in Austin. I think that's one of the videos. And the fact remains that Disney came and bought 300 acres, and it wasn't even the biggest news in Austin. It was like, okay, there's several other companies that came and bought 500 acres. And there's a guy from California right now just put $580 million in the downtown. And people are like, oh, that's nice. You know what I mean? They didn't even acknowledge it being a newsworthy thing because we have so much money coming into Austin. Think about that. We have so much money coming into Austin. A man comes from California and drops $580 million. $580 million in the downtown, and nobody is like, this should be on the news every day. No, it's not even the main news. Disney done came and bought 300 acres near Austin. Not even on the main news. One of the companies sold, it canceled every single buyer's contract. Sold its whole real estate company to another company in Austin for $40 million, which doesn't even make sense because if they just finished the houses and sold the houses, they'd make the money. But that means they were over leveraged and they were a zombie company. They couldn't even afford to finish building the houses. You dig what I'm saying? Again, people are going into these little or smaller towns, buying up some stuff, and get more press than the guy came in Austin spending $580 million. Okay? So again, and I'm not trying to be funny, and this isn't any kind of racist thing. We had 42 Indian restaurants open up in Austin before the pandemic. If you don't think when that India finally opens and they're allowed to get up out that bug, they coming, baby. When Kamala said she meant 500,000 visas, she really meant 5 million people because they coming. And they're going to be up in here. America's too easy to win. It's too easy. You come here, you go to work, you take what, $300, build a little LLC, you take it over to your business bank account, and then you just pour maybe $100, $200 a month in ads into your business and grow your business. That's all. Great. Go look at all the 7-Elevens out here in Texas. Who's in there working them? Look at all the gas stations. These people are coming to play with y'all. Again, in trucking, all the time I get on the phone and guys are complaining about the owners, and I'm just not going to say what they say. You can ask Nick Taylor to say what they say. Complaining about the owners who hire them from overseas. Come on. Come on. Right? You put yourself in that position. The black man here in Austin that showed that the company said don't hire no more blacks, and he accidentally showed the text message his boss sent with the other person, and they are Muslim Americans. I'll just say it that way. And then they said, hey, we talked to that person. They're not gonna say no crazy stuff like that again. And he quit his job, and then he asked for a GoFundMe. I said, now brother, you know how to tow trucks. That's a skill. Why aren't you going over to the dealership over there and getting your own tow truck? Instead of putting out a GoFundMe when you got 3 children complaining about this towing company saying something racist. Again, you got the mindsets wrong. A tow truck driver can go anywhere. They can be independent. They can go to any company. But you out here trying to be on the news in Austin and GoFundMe talking about how they was racist and you had to leave. That don't even make good sense, brother. You could go get a truck by the time you done made all this fuss on TV. You think you're going to get paid? Come on now. It's too easy. These people are coming in and they ain't playing with us. They're not playing with us. I hope you understand what I'm saying in the nicest way possible. You're going to get to a point on YouTube where you can't say very controversial things because they're swiping those channels, whether it was holistic comments. They taking holistic channels up out of here, okay? So if you and your friends thinking of making a channel, now's the time. You're thinking about doing podcasting, now's the time. You better get it grandfathered in so you can get away with some stuff. You dig? I hope that made sense, what I'm saying to you guys. If it did, I hope. If it didn't, I get you. But good luck, my friends. All right, you guys, this is your Ericka Classic Clown Blog. We better get off this phone here and get to this event. So anyways, you guys, this is your Ericka. Later.